your home, there are often many decisions that you have to make, and perhaps one of the most challenging ones is selecting the right hard surfaces.
Hi, my name is Joe Fava from Fava Design Group, and this is one of our favorite projects because I felt like the client allowed us to be creative. So once we picked the stone, it was very easy to work with the color palette throughout. The client was definitely a minimalist, but she loved the natural element of the stone. So it's sort of a cross between minimalist and nature.
Learn how selecting the right stone slab can set the tone for your entire design on today's SoFlo home project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra. Today we're touring a condo with a chic and contemporary look that has been completely transformed with beautiful stone slabs. This 5,200 square foot home has 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a powder room. The design was inspired and driven by nature. Joe, welcome to SoFlo Home Project. It's great to have you back here with us.
Thanks for having us back.
So I'm very excited about this tour today because we are going to be talking about one of my favorite things, natural stone, and how it influenced your design. So before we jump into the tour, I want to talk a little bit about the backstory of this condo that we're in.
Sure. The condo was old traditional when the clients bought it, and they really wanted more of a minimalist look. They were about texture, very soothing color palette. So we did a complete gut renovation. The first trip was for the stone yard. One of the slabs in the foyer is the petrified wood. So that sort of informed the color palette.
To all of our viewers, when approaching a project, there's so many different ways to start. Sometimes it's with a certain rug, a piece of art, a wall covering, and that maybe drives where you're gonna go color-wise. I love that it was natural things and just, this is so bold and beautiful, so many different colors.
Exactly.
So let's talk about this area first. So when you actually come in, you first go through a private sort of elevator entrance.
Whenever you're doing a condo, I feel like the elevator lobby is very important.
Yes.
It's the first thing that people see when they come to visit. So I like to make it dramatic if we can. And in this case, we started with a charcoal flocked paper from Romo. And then we did a really interesting geometric LED sort of extravaganza on the ceiling.
Yeah, that ceiling detail, Joe, is awesome. I think often we talk about the walls, the floor, the ceiling is such a big part of design. So kind of as you go in and you utilize the petrified wood, I kind of think this corner application where you sort of created almost a console of sorts, was the intent to just kind of make it very dramatic with the angle and the stone?
We wanted it dramatic. We liked the idea of just creating this angle. We pretty much took all the walls down in the living space. So when you come in, this also acts as the foyer. So this was the perfect place for the petrified wood slab.
It really is great. And then I love that off of it, you have this sort of area where you have display, but acts as a somewhat open divider between the dining space behind it.
It does. So we have some of the cubbies that are open to the dining room and some aren't.
And now I want to kind of lead down the hall a little bit with more fantastic natural stone. There is an amethyst in there that creates not only the sink, the vanity, wall detail. I mean, let's talk about that design. Amazing.
This client loved purple. When she saw the amethyst slab, she fell in love with it. We came up with a design that came from the ceiling down, sort of turned 90 degrees and then waterfalled. And we wanted to do something interesting with the front, so we did an angle and then we custom made the vanity to provide a drawer, but also complement the angle of the slab.
It's just an incredible use of the stone. What a successful installation. Beautiful powder room.
Thank you.
So Joe, we're going to continue touring through, checking out all of the beautiful stone and design throughout this condo when we come back. Coming up, achieving a luxe look by mixing contemporary design with nature on SoFlo Home Project.
Hi, this is John with USA Windows and Doors, and this is Hugo. And today is going to tell us about the beautiful windows that were installed here.
This is a beautiful, huge house with more than 50 windows and 20 doors. And what we did is we maintained the colonial look because the customer wants to everything looks the same. We use ES windows, we use Elite line, and another thing is that we use the energy savings technology low-E in all the house. So now the customer is going to have a cooler house and a great view. And also what we did is we maintained all the mullions. That's an extra job that we did for this house. We replaced all the wood backs that are in the opening. We rebuild the stucco, we rebuild the drywall, and also we repair all the rotten wood that we find in each opening in this house. Now we have to pass for inspection from the city. So the inspector is going to come here and see all the material and screws that we use. After we have the approval, then we cover everything when it's stucco, and the customer, the only thing that he has to do, he has to pay, and that's done.
So if you're also ready to upgrade your windows to Impact Windows and Doors, call USA Windows and Doors today.
Or go to usawindowsanddoors.com.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to tour this beautiful condo by Joe Fava of Fava Design Group. So Joe, I have absolutely loved the way you bought amazing natural stone slabs throughout the space. And right behind us is another one. Steps away from the foyer, we find an open concept kitchen, bar, and office area. The lack of walls in this layout gives the heart of this home an inviting feel. So Joe, this beautiful stone, another semi-precious kind of a look.
So here we chose smoky quartz, but this was a very tricky bar to put together because we had the backlighting, we had the quartz, we had the stone countertop, we had smoky mirror. So there was a lot of moving parts to get it just so.
And I love the whole smoky theme, smoky quartz, smoked glass. It's perfect for like a bar setting.
I think so. Originally there was a window behind here.
Oh, wow.
And we were thinking of different ways to treat this space, and it was actually the client that came up with the idea of sort of closing off the window, which really made the space more cohesive.
Just to your right is another amazing, cool ceiling detail with the lighting. As we saw from the foyer, you had some ceiling detail a little more angular and linear, here more curved.
What inspired us there is the Kagan sofa. So we came up with this LED flush mount light design that I think is really cool.
Definitely, and what a great way to set up a workspace.
Right.
I think the way you've surrounded it with, a lounge area of sorts that can kind of be dual purpose in the use, but also you get that office space, but you're not sacrificing living space.
So she really wanted to be able to interact with her husband while she was cooking, and so that was the perfect place.
Such a great way to marry those two spaces. Now let's go take a look at the kitchen, speaking of. Joe, this kitchen is amazing, so beautiful. I love the minimalist feel, but the darker tones.
Yes, here we wanted to sort of ground the space. When we took out so many walls, it was huge. And so we thought by using a darker palette, it would make it a little bit more substantial here. And in this instance, one of the first things that we picked with the kitchen is the Anna Gray veneer.
So you have a mix of the veneer, of course, this is like a lacquer finish here, and the countertops are really nice as well.
Again, one of the driving factors in this space was the stone, but also texture. So this has a slight texture. The Anna Gray gives the kitchen a little bit of depth.
Now I want to talk about the seating area, because this is a really cool setup the way you did it. Typically we think the island chairs would line up on the back. Here you created like a mini island / table with the chairs as an extension of the kitchen.
I entertain frequently, and I love the ability to walk around the space. We also use the other side as storage. There's refrigeration there as well. So an overhang there didn't really work. So what we did was we sort of created a T, but they're not connected.
This is perfect for entertaining and everyday use.
This is one of my favorite details.
Ah,
I
look at that.
love this. It's great if you're on the shorter side or you don't want to have any visual hardware. So these just open and close by a button.
Really nice. And you've got the microwave drawer on this side. You've got the cooktop here. Everything is clean, sleek.
And then behind you is another one of my favorites. It conceals a whole coffee station.
Oh, very nice.
We have additional storage here with drawers.
Wow,
different
roll-out
variety
trays.
of coffee, exactly.
This is awesome. I love when all of those countertop appliances are concealed. Joe, so we have got more of this beautiful condo to tour, including another office space. And we're gonna do that when we come back. Coming up next, we look at a fabulous den designed with cues from nature on SoFlo Home Project.
In addition to the moving services, we also provide storage services for clients that are not quite ready to move into that new home. Maybe it's still under construction, or they just haven't found the place to move into yet, and they need their items placed in a safe, secure location in the interim. We make it really easy for homeowners to store their items because we actually come to the house to pick it up. Many other facilities require for you to bring it to them, or they'll drop a container to your house and you still have to load it. So we'll pick up the items, we'll wrap them, we'll protect them, and they'll remain wrapped and protected, unlike if you dropped it off elsewhere. So we welcome you to come visit our facility. It's safe, secure, with the latest technology, and of course we always sanitize the containers anytime we bring a new customer in and out of our facility. At Good Greek Storage, our facilities are clean, secure, and monitored 24 hours a day by closed-circuit television. Of course, they're alarmed and all that, but we also have on-site personnel 24 hours a day inside the facility, and the Sheriff's Office patrols the exterior.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, this is Shirley.
Good Greek offers short-term and long-term storage because we know that different clients require different needs. We deal with customers that are having to deal with death or a divorce situation, and sometimes they don't really know how long they're going to need to have their items in storage. And oftentimes it might be just an overnight situation. So we can help people whether it's short-term or long-term. When a customer is ready for their belongings, they'll simply call us or email us in advance, and we'll accommodate the date they're looking for. And at that time, we'll deliver all of their belongings inside the house and place and set things up where they belong. We welcome you to come and take a look at Good Greek Storage, and then go take a look at the others. And I think the choice is going to be very, very simple, that Good Greek Storage is going to be the way to go.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to tour this stunning condo with interior designer Joe Fava of Fava Design Group. So Joe, it has been so much fun touring through this space that you have designed for your clients. Like, I know there's been a full renovation and all the beautiful furnishings, but the stone finishes are really something that's standing out throughout as we tour.
We really took advantage of the different slabs, the exotic features of some of them, and this one's amazing. This one's a leathered marble, and it's a perfect backdrop because this is her space to Zoom, to get on meetings, and she really wanted something special as the background.
On the opposite side of the foyer, we find a multi-purpose den. Stylish design and a chic stone slab were used to create a luxe space. I like that you have a dark pop, but everything else in this room then kind of lightens softly off of that.
Agreed. I think that we wanted to keep the space warm, inviting, but we like the drama of the black. So you can see in the stone, there's a lot of gold undertones, and there's actually sort of a tealy green. So we picked that up with the drapery and also some of the throw pillows.
What a great detail. We talked about throughout this project, the stone being your inspiration, how it drove the color palette, and what a great example of how to bring in the colors simply through a stone slab.
I think so, and I think in all of the rooms that we design, we try to pick one focal point.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you walk into a space and you're looking at too many things, it's overwhelming. It's sort of sensory overload.
Yes.
But here I wanted this wall to be the focal point and then everything else sort of be the supporting actors.
To our viewers, just so they understand, this room is an office space primarily, right? It is a den. And then it's also a lounge. Like, what a great way, just like you did the office in the main living space off of the kitchen, the way they're set up are not as traditional office. So great
Right.
inspiration, right? To think about like, hey, enjoy the whole room and work in it too.
Well, there's definitely not a traditional desk here. So this table from Ironies, we custom made. We designed the top and raised it up to make it more of a bar height. So this is her desk.
So this is a bar top. It's also a standing desk, should you want to. It's that right height.
Exactly.
So you kind of get that
The
ergonomic
perfect
mix.
height. Yeah.
We talked about stone being used here. In this restroom here, there's another amazing kind of slab of stone.
So they asked us to incorporate a lot of texture, and the stone that's in this bathroom is three-dimensional. The color palette's the same, the blacks and sort of the
Yes.
creamy golds, but very different in the terms of the feel. And I think it's spectacular. I really like that.
So do I. I mean, what a great way to pull from the stone in both rooms and create a cohesive space with different materials.
Exactly.
Next, see how natural stone can add a sophisticated style to your bathrooms on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are on the last stop of our tour with interior designer Joe Fava of Fava Design Group. So Joe, we are in the beautiful primary bedroom, part of the primary suite here in this condo, and we have been talking about how you use natural stones sort of as a kind of to drive the design and the color palette. On the other side of the home, we find the primary suite. Natural elements were used to create a sophisticated bedroom and bathroom. Before we jump into the design details, talk to us about what you used in terms of stone that brought this color palette about.
So in the primary bathroom, we actually use book match onyx throughout.
Beautiful.
And it's a gray onyx that has some gold, some cream. So that really influenced the palette for this primary bedroom.
But then from there, you took it and added and layered textures, as you did in here.
Well, again, textures was super important throughout the whole space, but I loved the way that the sort of gold and grays married with each other from the onyx. Then the color palette for this suite sort of unfolded from there.
I love the gray onyx and the beauty of those tones. We talk about design trends and colors too, and gray is one of those colors that when you now mix it and update it and warm it up, it brings you a whole new look.
I agree. I think it's really important to realize that gray can be used both in a warm color scheme and also a cool. People think that it's cold and sterile sometimes, but you can mix it with gold, ivory, just to give it a whole different feel.
Yeah, I love this sort of golden grayish palette you've got
So
going
do
on
I.
here. It's beautiful and not a lot of heavy patterns in here. Tone on tone pattern on the wallpaper. Was the directive to kind of keep it more serene?
For sure. And like I said, it was all about the textures. For example, the drapery is a linen, but we actually used 3 different colors to create this stripe and then the larger banding below. We have linen, we've got velvet, we've got this really great area rug that has a lot of sheen to it. So, and of course, to follow our theme with the stone, we have this great sofa from NA, and it has a piece of stone right on the arm.
That is one of my favorite details in this room, Joe. You know, we talked about stone being such a big part of kind of driving this design, and to kind of like celebrate that by like having a sofa with it again is a nice way to bring it to the furnishings.
It's a unique detail, and since so much of the design in this project was driven by stone, it was perfect.
Way to really just cap that off. So Joe, this has been so much fun. I loved touring this property.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, always fun to tour your design, so this has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So I hope that that left you inspired to design things in your own home, but that's not all. Take a look at what else we got for you. Next week on SoFlo Home Project, get ready to design some nice girl rooms with mean girls in mind. We look at great design ideas inspired by a cult classic movie. So I just want to thank all of you for joining us this week, and we hope to see you again next week for another all-new episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like SoFlo Home. If you missed any part of this episode, or if you're looking for more design inspiration, make sure to check out all episodes online at SoFloShows.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.